intro.
They said gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
Hey, yo, welcome back. As you see, I finally got these two gentlemen here. You're not stuck with just me no more. We actually have some content actually to come out with some unbiased shit finally. Rob K, Muffins Martinez, OG Boricua Don Dada, regardless of what my name might be at the moment. I don't know if I've changed that in a while or I have not. But, gentlemen, right, like off the rip, I wanted to talk something, and I was like, we'll save it for later. We'll bunch it all together. But when I watched the beginning of this show, I was really excited because I knew what Ichiban was going to bring. I knew a little bit about Nolo Kitano, but I did not know we were going to get an exhibition like that. And I'm going to use that word just like that because it kind of brings me back to when I first fell in love with TNA and the X Division. And these guys kind of took it to that direction. They felt like it was just larger than a regular match. And I was like, man, if MLW could do what TNA did with the X Division, we're okay. We got some really good people in that middleweight division. And these two young brothers are the right people to build it around as well. So Ichiban, I'm not even going to say who won, don't care. Ichiban, Nolo Kitano, that could be y'all thing. Gentlemen, talk to me because I'm just excited for what I seen.
Yeah, it was a great exhibition match showing what both guys can do. And I would argue at a certain level that it helped Kitano a bit more because Ichiban had already come in with a bit of some notoriety being a draft pick and all, where Kitano just kind of had like a 15-second promo and then a match previously, and then now he gets kind of finally some time to himself. And of course, this match was a banger. The two fighters' styles meshed very well together, and they complemented each other greatly. And I'll spoil things for you because I do a review show and I've already spoiled it if you bother to listen to the MLW Confusion podcast. Like even the finish was a lot of fun, where Ichiban caught Kitano with the Ichiban Kai mid-air. As the wife just put it, like an RKO out of nowhere. And yep, that's kind of what they're going for with that. But off the springboard crossbody, and it was great. I'm really excited at the direction the middleweights are going right now because they are building up a pretty solid division with Kitano, with Ichiban, and then even if hopefully they stick around. But guys like Kevin Blackwood, Tony Deppen, The Sauce, Tracy Williams, that's a pretty good core roster.
And the crazy thing is that was a real good match. Like I saw yesterday, Ichiban had one on Twitter and had mentioned that he just got a multi-year deal with MLW, so he's going to be there for at least 2 to 3 years. Now, Kitano is kind of weird because they actually are trying to do something with him, but now Ichiban is like the one they put the rocket behind his back, and he was just going, taking the win after win after win. Amazing match, loved the match, hated the finish. Like I couldn't tell who got the words of the move because I'm thinking whoa, what just happened? the finish just came out of nowhere. His maneuver, and I'm
there's a crossbody, so I get that.
Yeah, I'm thinking who hit the maneuver? Was it Ichiban or was it Kitano? Because I couldn't tell who actually hit the finishing maneuver. So Ichiban got the win. I know the victory. I'm thinking this is like 3 matches that he's won since he came in now. And you mentioned Kevin Blackwood. We still haven't seen the man yet, and he was the first draft pick. And we still haven't seen him.
He was in that pay-per-view that they showed him on, but they haven't put the
pay-per-view. They still haven't shown one match, and they've already done, like you said, 1 or 2 pay-per-views already. So where the hell's Kevin Blackwood?
Yeah, our number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. The number 1 draft pick. We still haven't seen the men yet. We've seen Tony Deppen. We've seen Cardona all over. We've seen Ichiban. I mean, we got to finally see, and I was messed up her name, Tiara James, right? Yeah. We finally got to see her last week. We still have not seen Kevin Blackwood, and he's the number 1 pick. So,
and that's been
figure.
One of my complaints pretty much since we've started bringing back doing the live events is that despite having this backlog or this current log of things to Fusion, like we've still been showing things from April, and where does the current batch of things fit into this, and where do you just kind of like juggle everything? Because I mean, spoiler, I don't know if that's on our topic list, but like, despite Sam Adonis announcing like a month ago that he's a free agent, he's no longer with MLW, we finally just now saw a way that he may or may not have been written off. I mean, you never know with these kidnappings. But yeah, now just turn this into a downer, man. Outside like what was supposed to be an awesome match, which was an awesome match.
I mean, what got me hooked into that match, because like I said, I enjoyed the whole thing, but that moonsault DDT, like when he hit that off the rope thing, I was like, yo, this is crazy, right? Like I felt myself back invested in it, like at another level. So these two guys, I mean, like we're all high on them, but I agree. Your number 1 draft pick, and Rob and Muffins had their feeling about the MLW draft. I tried to be super positive about it. Now we got to actually be super honest about it. Your number 1 pick is supposed to be your primetime player. It's the guy that you think is going to take your team or franchise because they Google MLW, the league. So you're thinking that this guy is going to take your league to another level. And we haven't even seen him. Like, if you didn't order the pay-per-view, it never happens, right? Like, so Kevin Blackwood, he's just the number 1 pick just to be the number 1 pick at this point.
And Sam Bowie.
No, go ahead. Rob.
Okay,
I
hope not. I was just being a jerk.
Well, I was going to say your number 2 pick, which is Wells Cardona, is your guy who's actually been pushed more on the screen as the big time guy, and your number 6 pick has already had like 3 matches that he's already won. So,
you know what? Going into Blackwood. Now, would you be upset if Kevin Blackwood was kind of like one of Salina De La Renta's people on the side, and then that's how he comes in and it kind of makes sense? No?
Oh, no, hell no. If that's what it's for, then I'm down for it. Then that's fine.
Yeah, if he gets featured in the end, it'll be worth it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it one way or another. It's just, as we've noted, that he's our number 1 draft pick, and he's been MIA ever since.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how he comes in, like, there's still a disconnect. Like, they really almost, dare I say it, made Cardona the number 1 pick just because of his name value and then how much they've actually bothered to feature him in the program.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of promos and stuff like that. What was the second match? I had a brain fart.
Second match, like I have. Oh, Guido and Love Dug.
Yeah.
Oh, Guido Love Dug. All right. Yeah. So we get Becca coming out. She gets on commentary. I listen. The 3 of us, we have talked Becca out the culo. We've just OD Becca this, Becca this. Becca just seems to be great at everything.
Yep.
So she comes out. She comes out. She does what she's gonna do. It's Becca. She's gonna murder it. Love Dug goes upon this match. Becca don't give a shit. She's promoting herself. Love Dug comes out on top. He beats Guido, right? So you're like, all right, this is actually a big win for Love Dug, right? Like, this is a good win. He comes out and he's, I guess, trying to finesse Becca. Now, this is where I do have a problem with Becca. That cake that Love Dug bring out looked really good. It looked like somebody took their time to make this beautiful, amazing cake.
Had to fight Matt Striker for it.
You know what I mean? And then she takes the back of his dome and smashes into the cake. Now, 2 things I hope happen, but unfortunately not, because the MLW has too many heels. I would love to see him snap and just go at her, because everybody loves these intergender things. I would love to just see Love Dug take it to her for all the abuse he's had, or cost her that championship fight against Del Miex. Like, You punked me for so long. All I did was ever show you love, and you keep throwing my name and shit. So I'm gonna go take you out. Like I said, I love Becca, but she went too far fucking with the cake and Love Doug on this one. Gentlemen, please talk to me because I'm a little upset about the cake.
You know, it was a good match. I'll be honest, it was a real good match. I like the
storytelling.
I like the part where Guido got the guitar, and you know he's like about to give some Italian romance song or whatever. So that part was kind of funny. I actually liked the finishing maneuver from Doug while he ducked and came out the springboard, and so it was a very, very competitive match. Where is the Love Doug Becca thing going? That still remains to be seen, but I was surprised with the match. I mean, the match was a real good match, though.
I'm surprised you liked it because there was a lot of shtick to it.
Yeah. Now, this is what I was going to say because I didn't expect them to like it, so I expected it to be a cut and dry kind of whatever.
I
hated it just to talk.
I was surprised too.
Yeah. So
I was surprised.
Muffins, I got to ask you because this is the second time we've seen them have really cool interactions in ring. The first time we see it with the cash guy, Cash Flow.
That 5-way.
Who?
He was a 5-way.
Yeah. And he had that interaction. Everything looked kind of cool, and it was like, okay, the storytelling that Love Doug was doing is really good. Now you get the one-on-one, and you see more of it. Now I'm not a goofy shtick kind of person, but this was really good, and it's something I'm falling into. I'm like, I really like Love Doug, and I should not. Right in my head, I'm like, I don't like Love Doug, and every time Love Doug comes out, I'm like, I fucking like this guy, right? Like, I don't want to like him, but I like Love Doug.
When he was the number 3 or 4 pick, I'm like, who the hell is Love Doug? And why?
I said that. Who the fuck is Love Doug?
We all said that. I'm like, who is he and why? And ever since, the more I see Love Doug, the more I go like, damn, I actually like this guy. Like, I want him see him win whatever he's trying to do with Becca. But yeah, I mean, I even like the angel feathers that he has, the big wings when he comes out, to the ring. I like his whole stick. And then it kind of makes sense how when Alex Kane, Bomaye all day, said Love Doug gets it. And I see what he meant by that.
Yeah. The
more I see him, the more I like the dude.
I like social media where people want to call him gay, and I'm like, how? Wow, his whole thing is trying to bag up Becca. I mean, that's his whole thing.
He's all about love. He's pan. So man, woman, it doesn't matter. It's all love. Like he is wrestling's Cupid.
Boom! That's perfect. Wrestling's Cupid.
That makes sense.
But yeah,
definitely, yes.
Like he's definitely I can see why people may not like him just because he is that much of a character, but he does incorporate the character so much into what he does in the ring. And on top of it, his character is so different from everything else going on right now. Like even within the crazy gimmicks and the crazy characters, like there's as far as I know, I mean, feel free to hit the comments or hit me up on social media and correct me, but I don't think there's anyone who's running around legit trying to be Cupid and their whole gimmick is love. Like there's guys that are like, oh yeah, I'm a smooth lover. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's the suave guys or the sexy the women who promote all sorts like I'm the sexiest woman wrestling, blah blah blah. But like nobody's like, I want everyone to be in love. I love my opponent. I love insert wherever my storyline's going. All that good stuff. And he does put it all together in a package. Like, is he going to give you a proper 5-star technical masterpiece? No, but you don't need that. Especially in a niche where Love Doug is going to fit into everything.
Yeah.
And
and
I know
I totally agree.
Yeah, and as I say, he's one of the things that it really I've really enjoyed about the program coming forward, and some of my journeys into the Northwest or Northeast indie scene, because that's how I originally heard about him. Is some people were like, "Oh, this Love Doug's great," and this was like a year ago, and I haven't, but I don't watch a whole lot of Northeastern Independence where he's pretty active at, and I finally kind of like thanks to like IWTV and whatnot, I've kind of like finally moved that way, and like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Like, oh, this is good. And then he pops up on MLW, of course, too, and so it's good. Like, yeah, this match was great. I am going to be very surprised that Muffins liked it, because it was almost entirely shtick based. Because even Guido, who is like a very good technical wrestler, was just chewing on the scenery himself. And then, of course, the icing on the cake, pun fully intended, of course. But it's wrestling 101. If there is a cake, someone is going to wear it.
Oh yeah.
The question was going to end up being who, and I'm not going to lie. Like, I thought there was going to be some hilarious happenstance where Becca was going to be on it, get the cake, and then she was going to freak out, and like it was going to be like Doug was going to do it, but it's going to be a legit total accident, and like that would further the story that way of her rejection, because like maybe she was okay, and now oops, cake, and now she's blowing the gasket. But I mean, this also works as well.
I loved it. The storytelling is great. I think Love Dub brings something completely different to MLW that no one else does like him. So I think he fits his own lane, and I dig that. I really do. Now to tie everything in the show into this main event, right? Like, so we start off, you get Jimmy Lloyd. Once again, I admit, I don't know who Jimmy Lloyd is until last week, where he came out, started thugging out with versus the Calling, right? So I'm like, dope. All right. Another guy going as Calling. I like this. He's chilling with Mance and everything. He knows them. Now, I know, Rob, you know about SGC pretty well. And he says we traveled the world. So I didn't know he was part of SGC like that.
I mean, he's not a member, but I mean, they've run the same circles, same promotions. Okay. Etc. Like, I'm not. As far as an actual alliance, like, I don't know how legit it could be that is. But like,
this point, like an honorary mention kind of thing.
But if nothing else, he's a guy who's traveled the roads with them. If nothing else, because again, like, that's a northeast and a lot of like the hardcore brawling. Well, in of course, in Jimmy Lloyd's case, he goes full on death matches. But that's where that's kind of the and then and the brawling is the wheelhouse of the SCG. Manser himself is no stranger to death matches. Manders will pop. It doesn't do necessarily full on death matches, but he gets pretty violent every now and again. And like his like home away for his really his home base right now is a Hardcore Hustle organization, H2O, and they do a lot of deathmatch stuff. So I mean, he's not, he's no stranger to it, even if he doesn't necessarily full on participate as well. And then Justice is just crazy and dives off things.
Listen, Matthew Justice is probably my favorite member. Like, I thought, like, we're MLW guys. I love Mance Warner. Like, the guy's super talented. When we first saw Matthew Justice in MLW, I was like, whoa, this guy's fucking talented. I'm a fan of Matthew Justice. I think he has the most upside of any of them. I'm bought in on this guy. Matthew Justice versus Ikuro. I'm like, all right, Akira's not going to lose, but how are they going to do this? Now, this is where I gotta be me. I can't be some gimmick on a podcast or nothing else. I gotta be me. So if I'm going to fight one of these two gentlemen that's on this screen with me, and they have a bunch of homies with them, I'm going to bring my friends too, right? Like, that's just the way the game's going to work. So if I got beef with you and you bring your friends, I'm going to bring my friends. We can all bang out. Matthew Justice starts playing the number game. He starts going after the gas mask assassin guys, and then more guys come out, and then Jimmy Lloyd comes out, and it takes forever for SGC. And it goes to a no contest, and I'm like, I'm cool with the no contest. I'm not cool with, if I'm in a faction, can we at least be ringside? I don't care how it is, at least one of my guys. If it's one person and there's two gas mask assassins, I'm okay with that too. Because it's not just me versus three guys right at the ring.
I've made comments about that, and like tied it into my hatred of Manders, of course. But like, this is not. But like SCG, like or excuse me, SGC, the second gear crew, like are really bad about bailing each other out when it comes to saving each other in one-on-one matches. This is not like the first time they've, been late saving a friend. Like they come out eventually, but like I don't know if they're having a cup of coffee. Okay, it's not coffee; it's terrible beer. But are they sitting there getting an extra beer in before running out? Like let's let Justice get beat on for another 10 minutes. While our new BFF. Oh, yes, he can come out and save him. I don't know.
Yeah,
but this is not the first time like that part's happened.
See, now this is the two matches that I've liked with Akira. Though I felt Akira has had two really good matches.
I think Akira has a lot of upside, and I think it's hidden by we'll say our collective hatred of the calling. Because like his matches, like outside of like his first match that was televised, where it was kind of clunky.
Absolutely.
But then again, his style was so drastically different than his opponents, that triple threat, where he did seem kind of lost with the lucha stuff. But like I think he has the biggest upside of the calling, or at least the core calling of him and RSP, because who knows how often Delirious is going to show up now. Mandy Leon's kind of MIA, and and the Gas Mask Goons are kind of a rotating group in and of themselves.
Raven we haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
Mandy Leon we haven't seen in forever. Delirious we haven't seen in forever. But in this, Cannonball comes out, right? So you're like, okay, I think they plugged him at 375 or something like that.
Yeah,
now the chair shot he took was very lazy. And I was like, Jesus, why did it take you so long? Like, if I smash you in the head with a chair, I don't care if you're 500 pounds or 100 pounds with 2 bricks in your pocket, fall over. Like, I'm smashing you in the face with a chair. He just like, the timber was so slow. I was like, oh, Jesus, and it feels like I'm just hating on the calling to hate. It was just sloppy. And I'm like, I don't like this guy neither no more. Now I don't like him even more because he is the calling. But I was like, I get what was supposed to happen, and then we get after the thing with RSP jumping off the third little right thing and going through a table. All right, cool, whatever. If y'all want to try to save this, please, because I thought it was a good match. Go ahead.
I got 2 things to say. I hated the match, but I got 2 observations that I saw from this happening. Before the match, there was a calling vignette thing or promo or whatever. They're holding the bells. They're talking. RSP says, Raven said this about me. I am the calling. And Akira looked at him like, what do you mean? Like, and his eyes, when he looked, he kind of gave him that kind of like confused, but kind of mad look. Like, what do you mean you're the calling? We're the calling, not you. So that right there kind of hit me something that's going to happen in the future between them two, where I think RSP thinks he's bigger than the whole group.
He's been baptized by Raven.
Point number 2.
He flat says that.
Yeah. Point number 2, going to the back, and it's just him and Manders, and they just give him the spotlight when he goes up, comes down, and crashes to the table. While everybody is inside the ring, you don't see it. You see him, like he's looking like I'm the calling, like I'm the guy now. Like there's no Raven, it's me. And that's my second point that I got from the little vignette promo to that. Like he's gonna be the one taking over Raven, and that's gonna cause some issues between him and Akira.
Now you gotta admit though that Matthew Justice and outside of the craziness, Matthew Justice and Akira had a good match though.
Yeah, the bell to bell, the match was fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not that, I don't get too much into that type of nonsense, so.
But it was no hardcore.
They used the chairs. And I will also say that DVD on the open chair, that was a gnarly bump Akira took. And just like, I didn't know how the chair didn't like full on break or flatten. And then Akira had to take this weird little pratfall because he ended up like doing he had to like cartwheel out of it because the chair didn't break. So he couldn't just flat take it.
Yeah, some of those things from those chairs sticking up like that kind of scared me because I'm thinking to myself, like, how the hell these guys don't get like a spine issues or anything like that?
Well, they do,
Especially
just
when they
20
hit
years
the
down the
ring.
road.
I mean, that was like Impact. I don't, Muffins, you weren't there when Sami Callihan did that stupid spot I was with
Yeah, you was. You told me about it.
Eddie Edwards, where he like fucking
Yeah.
Oh, the baseball bat?
Yeah, it was a baseball bat. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you now, Impact tried to sell that like he didn't get hit, and you could hear that shit hit him in the crowd. Like that shit, wow! I was like, oh snap! Like,
Yeah, they caught a lot
I
of
hate
flack for
stupid
that.
spots. But it's a
Stuff like
stupid
that, yeah.
spot. Like, yeah, you don't need to do that. It's you could do anything else. Don't be so reckless. I mean, you know what, Rob? Please, we kind of just shat all over the main event. Rob could try to either, tag in and shit on it, or he could try to be the good guy.
I mean, I said I liked the match itself from bell to bell. I enjoyed the match. And like it was hard hitting. They did some creative spots with the chair. Like like some of that the chair got kind of scary there in a bit, like for a bit when it didn't quite break. Yeah. But like I thought the match itself was serviceable. Like we can complain about the schmoz and some of the creative aspects about the finish or how the show ended itself. But I think the match itself like was main event worthy for Fusion.
Okay.
Like, and I think it was probably like the best like the callings looked in ring in a little bit.
Well, that's because RSP wasn't in ring. So, all right, listen. None of us are a fan of the falling. So now I got to end it this way because one of the most happiest moments I've had in MLW. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Muffins. One of my most happiest moments in MLW happened with Salina De La Renta, right? So she's in the back and she's talking shit. She's just like this little bag that's moving. And she goes, shut the fuck up. Hits the bag. And she's like, I'm sending this bag of shit back to Mexico, which is Microman being sent. She's importing Microman to Mexico. And I thought that was super clever, super funny. And it just, once again, shows the dominance. It also, like what Rob had said with Sam Adonis being taken out by the I'm all over, by the Azteca goons.
Yeah, Adonis.
That means that she's got them to rough up El Jefe. She's got them to grab up Sam Adonis. She supposedly had them kind of take out Taya and John, whatever his name was at the time. So now, gentlemen, I don't think El Jefe's gone. I think he's going to come back. I do. And I think he's going to come back on some wild shit. Either he's going to go right at her or she's going to be aligned with him or some shit. But this is going to be a fucking war. And I'm ready for that Azteca war shit. I'm just saying, I'm ready. Talk to me, Muffins. You're like fired up.
Well, no, because I wanted to read something that me and her had on Twitter earlier. And we were talking about the little guy in the bag. And I told her, like, why would you waste that bag on Microman? That bag costs more than what Microman is worth, right? So she hit me back and she says, and I tell my God, because I can't see with this shit. The bag.
You can't wait. You can't see with your glasses on.
I can see far more reading.
Depends what the glasses are for.
Bifocals. They don't work like they're supposed to. Anyway, so she wrote me back and she says, that bag was a little under $2,000. That's a peasant's monthly salary and also the cheapest bag in my closet. I figure he wants to see the inside of a Louis at least once before he goes back home.
Damn.
I mean, that's the proper response, really. I mean, for someone who operates under the pretense of gold, it's
so that's straight from Miss Salina De La Renta. They are taking care of her little issue with Microman, which means, and finally, and thank goodness, we won't have to see any more Microman in MLW anymore.
I got to get Rob's take on it because Rob, that's your guy.
Pour one out for my homie. No, I mean, like,
I am so happy. Oh my God, you don't understand how happy I was when I saw that last night. I was clapping.
Can Rob talk, bro?
No. I know.
No.
I mean, it makes me sad because I enjoy him. I do legitimately enjoy Microman. Does like, but he, logistically speaking, he is someone like that would benefit benefits more from the territory system. You come in for a year or two, do your thing, and then you move on to the next one. I mean, obviously the territories, thanks to media, really don't exist much anymore. But like, there's not a whole lot for him to do. Like, he's going to have approximately the same match over and over again. And
like, he should stay his ass in Mexico, where he's bigger out there than here.
They ran him out of town.
People aren't that short in Mexico. Like, but you know, so like my big takeaway though, like, I mean, outside of being sad for Microman, is like, I think MLW is a little heavy on their kidnappings. Like, someone leaving the company, let's kidnap them. Like there's only so many kidnappings before I'm just like, oh, someone's leaving the company because they got a bag over their head now.
Well, NXT, you get hit in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You get hit, or there's other 5 people get jumped in the parking lot. MLW, you get kidnapped.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. And at least they bother to write people off. So I will give them, at least they didn't just like mysteriously disappear. We have to like ask what happened. On the flip side, we still ask what happened because like people just get kidnapped and completely disappear, and then they're not mentioned, like, or they're indirectly mentioned, but like nothing comes out of it. Like El Jefe, they just keep bringing them up just like once a month, and we're like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Like, are we going to do anything with him?
I'm telling you, I know he's coming back, and I can't tell you why I know that. I got a dope source, but El Jefe's coming back, and he is not gonna fuck around.
If you're like me, who knows English and Spanish and watches a lot of TV shows in Spanish, you'll know why he's not here at the moment, because of things in Spanish stations.
Oh, I mean, he's an actor.
He did Mayans. Yeah. He was on Mayans.
Huh?
He was on Mayans.
Yeah, Mayans. He was in a comedy. This Fool on Hulu. He was the preacher there. A couple of episodes there.
That's a busy brother.
Yeah,
so
like he's in demand
out there. Yeah, I mean, you got to make that money somehow. Hey, if you're an actor, that's your dream. That's your passion. That's the number one thing. So make that money, baby.
El Jefe for president 2024.
Yes, sir. Oh, and one more thing about Miss Salina.
Hold on.
She's working on a production for a show. She sent me a message earlier that is supposed to be a spoof of making fun of people from like companies and promotions and stuff like that. So she's working on that now. She told me that earlier. They're looking into.
She's also on that game show, right?
She's maybe on the game show, but then she's working on this new show that she's doing now. It's almost about to get done wrapping. I think it's being done in Mexico, but I guess it's supposed to get distributed all over.
Wow.
So hopefully in 2024. I know now with the SAG-AFTRA, whatever, the unions with the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
What is it called, Rob?
The Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
The writers strike.
They just, I guess, got together and they're going to allow people to now talk about the Von Erich movie. So they're going to push it through. So now the wrestlers and actors can actually start talking about the movie, because now it's going to be getting released now. So that was one thing.
Listen,
for that too.
And these guys don't get to talk after me because that's it. And I'm going to say this now. So Grandpa Don King comes out, right? Oh, God. Grandpa Don King, my Grandpa Don King, Grandpa King, he talks his shit. These two guys did nothing but bitch and complain. This guy's never around. We never see Don King. Don King was like, you know what? I'm going to have to shut these two guys up. Here I'm back. Bomaye, the greatest fight promoter of all times, might be MLW's greatest fight of all time. DBS versus Alex Kane next pay-per-view. I'm just saying right now, the King came to TV. Enough with the, you don't get to see Don King no more. Grandpa Don King, welcome back. You don't ever have to come back again. Not for the likes of these two guys. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got two more things coming at you.